Welcome. This is 4:15 Vinyasa, which means that the intention is to move. Although we may move in a different way than some of you may be used to practicing. So my name is Mariah. I am very happy to be here today. Those of you that were in my class this morning, I mentioned that I mostly teach, besides Vinyasa, I teach Yin Yoga and I offer teacher trainings in that. So my teaching is very much blended with Taoism and Chinese medicine. So you may hear me refer to Qi instead of prana, life force. And the sequence today energetically will stimulate the Qi, the life force in your kidneys and in the Hara. In Chinese medicine, the kidneys are considered the organs that are responsible for your overall health. So if your kidneys are not functioning properly, that will affect how you feel overall. The Hara, the lower belly area, you may know it as the Dangchen, is our center of awareness, or center of life force, the center from which we move. So it's important to energize this area and strengthen it, but at the same time maintain a softness around it. And this morning after class, there were several women that asked me about that. How do I do that? Because especially if you're trained in any kind of movement, the idea is always to suck the belly in and keep it tight. But obviously, when you do that, you can't really breathe properly. And it stagnates the Qi right there. So we'll work on strengthening the abdominal region, but with an awareness of softness at the same time, so that it becomes strength from the inside out. We'll do a lot on the belly. That's why I invited you to get a blanket, especially if you have bony hip bones. You'll be thankful for that blanket, to strengthen the lower back, which is energetically connected with the kidneys. And those of you that were in Michelle's workshop this afternoon about the hips, will actually work with some of those movements in a slightly different way to not only create stability in the hips, but actually move it up a little bit and to strengthen the lower back and abdominal area. With that said, if there's anything I offer that doesn't work for your body today for whatever reason, please don't force yourself. Don't do anything that doesn't feel right. This is your practice. I'm here to offer you what works for me, what I think is a helpful practice, and make it work for you. All right? So this is a tricky one, but let's start lying down. Have your head this way though, feet towards the back. Tricky because it may be tempting to fall asleep, and if that's what you really need right now, and there's some part of you that says, but you need to go do Vinyasa because you haven't moved yet today, maybe then this is what you're going to do for the next 75 minutes, and that's fine. If you can stay awake, then do so, and find a place where your body is at ease. Feel free to keep your knees bent or straighten the legs. Take a nice deep breath in. And let it go with a gentle sigh. Notice the ground underneath your body supporting you. You feel your heels digging into the floor. A gentle touch of the back of your legs, your buttocks. A gentle curve of your lower back that leaves a little space. Notice if there is an equal distribution of weight between right and left shoulder blades. Allow your head to be nice and heavy, as if it was trying to make a little dent in your mat. Circle the tongue inside your mouth 3 times clockwise and 3 times counterclockwise. You soften your ears, and can you use your ears to create a connection between your inner and the outer world? And through the sense organ of hearing, can you connect to the space around you? Can you listen to the space between the sounds? Can you find awareness in the space and spaciousness in your awareness? Slowly bring your hands to rest on your lower belly, just below your belly button. On the Hara, the down chin. And can you allow the belly to be soft? Imagine that you would like to rest a grapefruit on your lower belly, and in order for it to stay there, the outer layer needs to be somewhat soft, otherwise it will roll off. And as you slowly deepen your breath, allow the belly to expand into your hands. As you inhale, and on your exhale, let the belly relax. Inhaling, the belly expand like a sea anemone taking in ocean water, and then on the exhale, let it go. And just take a couple rounds of this conscious breathing with a sense of softness in your belly. After your next exhale, bring your awareness to the soles of your feet. On your inhale, draw earth chi through the feet, up into your legs, into your lower belly. Pause for a moment. And exhale in the Hara, in the lower belly, letting the chi circulate and energize the Hara. Inhale through the soles of your feet. You can just imagine that this is happening through the legs, up into the lower belly. Pause. And exhale there. One more time. Come back to the normal breath. And as we set the intention to practice not only for our own, but for the benefit of all living beings on the planet, let your practical intention be to move from the hara, from the lower belly, with awareness and softness. Take one more breath here. Slowly bring your hands by your sides and bend your knees if they're not already bent. Take a block, place it between your inner thighs, a little lower than the knees so that the knees are not pressing into the block. Feet are in line with your sit bones, arms by your sides. As you inhale, slowly lift your hips into a small bridge. It doesn't have to be very high. And as you exhale, roll the spine back down to floor. Inhaling, hips lift, spine peels off the floor. And exhale one vertebra at a time, lower it back down. Continue to gently move your hips up and down with this awareness of moving from the hara with a gentle engagement in the inner thigh muscles, the abductors. One more inhale as you lift the hips, and exhale, lower your hips down. Keep the block, but draw your knees towards your chest, lifting feet off the floor. You can bring your arms out to the sides or in a cactus position for stability of your upper body. As you exhale, let your knees come down to the right. Don't touch the floor, though. Hover there. Inhale the knees back to center and exhale your knees all the way over to the left. So as you continue to move your knees from side to side, do that with awareness of breath and awareness of an engagement in the deeper layers of the abdominal muscles. You could imagine that when the knees come to the right, your belly is reaching towards the left. And when your knees come to the left, your belly is reaching towards the right. One more time to the right. No rush. And one more time to the left. Bring your knees back to center. Knees stay pointing up to ceiling. Bring your lower legs perpendicular to the floor so your ankles come in line with your knees. Point your toes. Place your hands on your lower belly. Allow the belly to be soft. Remember, you want to try to keep a grapefruit to rest there without falling. Keep the 90-degree angle in your knees. And as you exhale, move your feet towards the floor until the point you feel your belly tightening up. And then move it back up. So continue in your own pace. Moving your feet away and down to the floor and then up, back to hip height. If you do this with a lot of awareness and then soft belly, your feet may not come much further than halfway between where they are now and the floor. So as soon as the abdominal muscles pop out, you're working the superficial layer instead of the deeper layers of the belly. Keep your lower back relaxed and in a neutral position. 2 more times. Just waking up the belly, waking up the chi in the hara. After your next time, the knees come down, draw your knees in towards your chest, remove your block. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And then extend your legs out onto the floor and turn onto your belly. Bring your forearms in line with the top of your mat. Let your forehead rest on your arms. Press your pubic bone down and lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. Right, and lengthen your legs. Keep your head down on your arms. And as you inhale, lift your legs off the floor. And as you exhale, lower your legs down. Inhale, legs lift. And exhale, lower. Keeping legs straight. Continue to lift up and lower down. If you feel any compression in your lower back, lengthen your tailbone and press your pubic bone further down. You should feel the lower back engage more than the butt muscles. See if you can find an awareness in the lower back that will lift your legs. One more time. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale the legs down. Bring your hands under your shoulders, press up to your knees and back into a child pose. Take a nice inhale and a full exhale. Slowly roll up. Come up to sit on your heels. If that doesn't work for your knees, take a prop. We'll be here just a moment. Close your eyes. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. As you let the belly be soft and you share the sound of Om, let this sound come from the belly. Take a nice inhale. Slowly lower your hands as you open your eyes. You may want to fold your blanket this way and place it in the center of your mat. You can always take it away if you don't like it, but when I do this practice, I get blue spots on my hip bones, and I prefer to have the blanket. Don't make it too thick though, so unfold it and have it like this. All right, onto your hands and knees. Curl your toes under, and as you exhale, lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. And as you're there, take a moment to move around in any way that your body likes right now. Maybe stretching one leg at a time as you bend the opposite knee. Check for alignment of your wrist. The wrist crease in line with the top of your mat, so there's equal distribution in the hands. There are 8 little joints in the wrist, and if you put more pressure on one side, the other side gets jealous. And as you come to stillness, slowly walk your feet forward, careful of your blanket, towards your hands into a forward fold. Knees can stay bent any amount. Take a few moments here to move your spine, or maybe stretch one leg at a time. Gently shake your head, yes or no. As you come to stillness, bend your knees a little more and begin to roll up one vertebra at a time. Your head is the last to lift. Arms extend out to the side and up overhead. Exhale, relax your shoulders as you keep the arms upright. Inhale, lift your heels. Press your big toes down into the floor. Imagine little magnets on your inner ankles. Pressing your toes down, stimulating 4 major meridians, energy channels in the feet. One more breath. Exhale, lower your heels and fold forward into Uttanasana, forward folds. Inhale, hands to shins or thighs, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back. Lower the knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, arms lift up into a low lunge. Exhale here. Engage your legs. You're not hanging out, you're working. Hug the inner thighs together, the outer hips. Your right buttock is engaged here. Keep your shoulders nice and wide and soft. Broaden the shoulder blades. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, hands lower down. Step back to plank. Press the floor away. Imagine that you're sliding your hands forward without actually moving them. Activate your triceps. Let the front of your hips be wide and long. So as if you're sticking your sitting bones up towards the ceiling without actually arching your lower back. Take a breath here. Exhale, lower your knees down. With a straight spine, lower to the floor. Keep your hands where they are. Inhale, your chest lifts. Now your legs lift. Bend your knees, inner feet touch. We come back to this position a lot. I'll refer to it as modified bow pose. So there is no weight in your hands here. See if you can lift the tops of your thighs. If you were in Michelle's workshop, we did this with straight legs. This strengthens the lower back more than the glutes. So see if you can feel the muscles engaged there. Take an inhale. On your exhale, extend your legs. See if you can keep the thighs lifted off the floor. On your inhale, widen your legs. Exhale, bring them together. Inhale, legs widen. Exhale, legs come together. One more. Inhale, legs widen. Exhale, your legs come together. Lower the feet, lower your head. Inhale, shoulders roll back. Traction your hands back, send the chest forward into a low cobra. Shoulders stay down. Curl your toes. Exhale to plank and downward facing dog. Nice deep breath here. Breathe earth chi through the soles of your feet, up the legs into the hara. Pause and exhale there 2 more times. On your next inhale, right foot steps forward, left knee comes down. Inhale, arms lift into a low lunge. So you can keep the front ribs soft, jaw soft, the legs are strong. Nice deep breath in, exhale, hands down. Step forward as you inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Reverse your way up, strong legs, arms come all the way up overhead. Palms together, exhale, draw them down the center line and let the hands rest on the hara, reconnecting with your center. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, fold forward, straight legs. Inhale, spine lengthens, gaze stays down. Exhale, fold. Left leg steps back, lower the knee, untuck the toes. Arms lift as you inhale. As you exhale, reach forward with the spine. Bend your elbows and hug the left elbow, the right knee into a twist. Hugging inner thighs in towards the midline. Using your hands to widen your chest. Nice deep breath. Inhale here. Exhale, hands down. Tuck the back toes, step back to plank. Can you be here with that same awareness of the outer of your belly being soft, but engaged deeper inside? Imagine you're bringing your sacrum, the low part of your spine, down and your sternum, your breastbone up. One more breath. Exhale, knees down, lower all the way to the floor. That same bow variation. Chest lifts, leg lift, inner feet touch. So this strength is coming from the muscles in your spine. There is no weight in your hands here. Keep your neck nice and long. Gaze is just in front of your mat. Take one more breath. Exhale, extend the legs. Thigh stays lifted. Inhale, widen your legs. Exhale, legs come together. Inhale, widen. Exhale, together. Inhale, widen. Exhale, together. Lower the tops of your feet. Lower your head. Inhale into a low cobra. Send the chest forward rather than up. Tuck the toes. Exhale to plank and downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Side out. So with these slower movements, you're building heat from the inside out, in case you hadn't noticed. Building strength on a deeper level. And we're working so much with stretching forward, 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 that we forget the back body. Take one more breath here. And exhale. On your inhale, left foot steps forward. Lower the right knee, untuck the toes, arms lift up overhead. As you exhale, spine reaches forward, and with that length, twist to your left, right elbow over left knee, palms together. Can you draw the right side of your rib cage further to the left and the left side of your rib cage up and back? Nice inhale. Exhale, hands down. Step forward as you inhale, lengthen spine, and exhale, fold. Reverse your way up. Arms come up overhead. Palms together. Exhale, draw them down the center line onto the Hara. Reconnect with your center. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold forward. Spine lift halfway as you inhale. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back, knee comes down. Inhale, arms lift up. As you exhale, reach your arms behind you. Interlace your fingers, roll your shoulders back. Allow the shoulder blades to lift your heart up into a slight back bend or maybe a big back bend. Keeping an activation in your legs. Don't sink in the pelvis. Careful with the back of your neck. Keep the neck nice and long. Deep breath in. And exhale. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, hands to floor. Step back to plank. Find length again in the front of your hips. Notice what it feels like when you really tuck your tailbone under here. Try it for a moment. Can you feel how that tightens in the front of your hips? Now stick your buttocks all the way up to the air without lifting your hips. Just a little bit. And then find the center, the middle between those two movements. Take a breath, exhale, knees down, all the way to the floor. Inhale to that bowl variation. Legs lift, inner feet touch. Deep breaths here. So you can get the tops of your thighs away from the floor. If you're too far forward on your blanket, it may be challenging. So you want to have the blanket really under your pelvis. One more breath. Extend the legs as you exhale. Inhale, legs widen. Exhale, bring them together. Inhale, widen. Keep the legs nice and long. Exhale, bring them together. You should feel strength in your lower back, no pain here. Bring them together. One more time. Inhale, legs widen. Exhale, bring them together. Lower legs and head down. Inhale to cobra. Tuck your toes, press up to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice deep breath in, side out. Keep your shoulder blades nice and wide, and Imagine that you're wrapping them around towards the front, as if they're trying to touch your chest. Rather than pressing your heels down, let the heels float down. On your next inhale, right foot steps forward, left knee down, untuck the toes, arms lift up as you inhale. As you exhale, bring your arms behind you. This time, if you can, cross your hands behind your back thigh, lifting the chest. Or if that doesn't work for you, interlace your fingers or any other variation where you can find an opening in the chest. And draw your ears back and then lift your chin rather than dropping the head back, keeping space between the vertebrae in your neck. One more breath. Exhale. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hands come down. Step forward. Inhale, spine lengthens. Exhale, fold forward. Reverse your way up, arms come up overhead. Palms together, exhale, back down to the Hara. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift as you inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step back to plank. Can you find that freedom in the front of your hips again? Imagine that you're drawing your hip bones closer together. So you're putting on a pair of drawstring pants and you're tightening the string. On your exhale, lower your knees. Lower your spine to the floor. Inhale to a bow variation. Lift the tops of your thighs, inner feet touch. Use the strength in the muscles of the spine, the rector spinae, to lift your chest. Deep breaths here. Sending all that chi into the kidneys right here. One more breath. Exhale, extend your legs. Stay here. Keep your legs extended. I like to make Barbie feet here, which is like you're trying to point your toes, but then your feet, but you flex your toes. And reach out through the balls of your feet. One more breath. Exhale, widen the legs and then stay here. Notice if your legs want to turn out, if your knees are turning to the sides of your mat. See if you can let your inner thighs roll upwards towards the ceiling, keeping your inner and your outer thighs working equally. Take one more breath. Exhale, keep the legs wide and lower your legs to let the head come down. As you inhale, roll your shoulders back and then lift up in a higher cobra since your legs are wide. You can come up fairly easily a little higher. Keep your shoulders down. Hug your elbows in towards your waist. Nice deep breath. Exhale all the way down. Slide your legs together. Inhale to your knees or straight to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Right foot steps forward. And your left foot steps forward into a forward fold. Reverse your way up. Arms lift up overhead. Palms together. Exhale. Draw them down the center line. Let them rest on the Hara and close your eyes for a moment. Notice the effects of this practice so far. Notice what is present in your body. Notice what is present in your mind. Are you challenged because of the pace? Are you challenged because of the muscles that you may not be using? Or can you just see it as a practice? You don't have to be good at it. As long as you breathe. Allow your eyes to open. Inhale, arms lift up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Step your right foot back into a lunge. Keep your back leg straight this time. Inhale, arms lift up overhead. As you exhale, lower your hands back down to the floor. Slide your left heel to the right. Let the shin come down and slide your right leg behind you for Pigeon Pose. If you have a cranky knee or any other sensitivity in the knee or the hip, I'll give you variation to lie on your back. So don't stay here. Take a deep breath in. Square your hips to the front of your mat to your best ability and walk your hands out in front and lower your spine all the way down towards the floor. Don't collapse, but keep an awareness in the lower belly. Press the top of your right foot down into the floor. Draw earth chi through the sole of your right foot, up your leg into the lower belly. Pause for a moment and exhale there. 2 more times. On your next inhale, bring your hands under your shoulders. Lift your torso up. Curl your back toes. Now keep your hips down. Just straighten your legs so that the knee comes off the floor, increasing the stretch in the front of your right hip. Draw your left hip back and right hip slightly forward. Place your hands flat on the floor, straight under your shoulders. Lift your hips a little. Now engage your core. Draw your left knee towards your chest. As you exhale, extend the leg behind you into 3-legged dog. Lower the foot to downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees down, lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, bow variation. Let the strength come from your back. Your glutes are not really helping if you tighten them a lot. So let the lower back muscles, the quadratus lumborum and the erector spinae, do most of the work. On your next exhale, extend the legs. Inhale, widen the legs. Exhale, draw them together. Inhale, widen. Exhale, together. Inhale, widen. Exhale, together. Lower your head and shoulders down, your legs down. Inhale to a low cobra. Exhale to plank and downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Sigh out. Step your right foot forward. Keep the left leg straight. Inhale to a high lunge. As you exhale, hands come down to the floor. Wiggle your right foot to the left. Let the shin come down to the floor. Slide the left leg back behind you. Same thing, if there's anything not feeling right in your knee or your hip, then come down on your back. It's a great option too. Make sure that the right heel lines up with your left hip. Inhale here. As you exhale with a nice long spine, walk your hands out in front and feel free to stay on your elbows or come all the way to the floor, but keep some action in the lower belly. Not by tightening it, but by finding that awareness. Press the top of your left foot down into the floor. Can you relax your shoulder? Nice deep breath. Take one more breath here. And exhale. Bring your hands under your shoulders and lift your torso up. Tuck the back toes. Just lift the knee, not the hips, creating more length in the front of your left hip. Make sure that 5 toes of the back foot have equal weight so the foot is not turning in or out. Place your hands on the floor straight under your shoulders. Press down into your back foot and your hands. Draw the knee in towards your chest and step it forward back to a lunge. You cheated. That's fine. Step your left foot forward into a forward fold. Inhale, reverse your way up. Arms lift up overhead. Exhale, palms together. Draw them down to center, back to the Hara. Reconnect. Inhale, arms lift up. And as you exhale, lower your hands back by your sides. I'm just realizing that not everybody has their blocks where they are most available. So take your blocks, place them to the front of your mat. Great. From the front of your mat, when you're ready, balanced on both feet, inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, fold forward. Spine lifts as you inhale and fold forward as you exhale. Step your left foot back into a lunge. Use your blocks, take them under your shoulders so that you're just elongating your arms. As you inhale, lift your hips, the front leg can straighten all the way or not. Exhale, bend your front knee. Inhale, lift the hips, front leg straightens any amount. Exhale, front knee bends, and now the back knee lowers almost to the floor. Straighten it first, then lift the hips, front leg straightens. Exhale, front knee bends, and then the back knee bends. Continue a few more times, making these distinctions on your way. There are these little pauses so that it doesn't become one big blur, but that there is awareness in your movements. Work with your breath. Allow the breath to lift you up on your inhale and help you descend as you exhale. And next time your left knee lowers towards the floor, let it actually come down all the way. You can keep the toes tucked under. Take your blocks, turn them on the highest setting, and walk them so far back that they're in line with your hips. Begin to wiggle your front foot forward. And then wiggle your back foot back. Use your blocks. If you can't come into full Hanumanasana, use the strength of your arms to prevent you from overstretching here. That's why you have the blocks. So make sure your blocks are straight under your shoulders. So you have stability in the shoulders to carry your weight. And then if you can, sink down towards the floor. But if you can't, use your weight, the strength in your arms and use your blocks. Make sure that the blocks are really straight under your shoulders. Breathe. Wherever you feel the most sensation right now. Do your best to relax your jaw and your shoulders. So if I took a picture just of your face, nobody would see what you were doing below. So if you were just sitting, meditating, which you are, but just in a different position. Deep breaths here. So you can find length in front of your left hip, the length in the back of your right leg, the hamstring. Take one more breath here and exhale. Now use your arms, press yourself up and draw the back heel back. Curl the back toes and straighten that leg back to a lunge. Place your blocks to the sides. Step back to plank. All of a sudden, plank doesn't feel so bad anymore, does it? Find that length in the front of your hips. Press your hands down and forward. Activate your triceps. The more you work with the triceps in plank, and especially when you come down, the heavier your shoulders will be. Take one more breath. Yes, I can open the window. One more breath. Exhale, lower your knees. Come all the way down to the floor. Bend your knees, but this time, reach for your ankles with your hands. If you can't find your ankles, you can use a strap. Bring your knees in line with your hips as best as you can. Let your head come down towards the floor. Roll your shoulders back first, sliding your shoulder blades together. Notice how that lengthens your arms. Now begin to press your feet back. The strength of your leg and the press of your feet is lifting you up. Gaze stays down. Keep pressing your legs. Now lift your chest. Lift your chin parallel to the floor. Keep working with your legs. You should feel no sharp pain in your lower back right now. If you do, don't stay here, but re-engage the muscles that you've been warming up the whole time. Nice deep breath. One more breath. Exhale, lower your head, bend your knees. Let your legs extend and turn your head either to one side or let your forehead rest on your hands. Notice the heartbeat, the blood flow, the chi journeying in your body. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes. If you can, press straight up to plank or bend your knees and come to downward facing dog from there. Lengthen the back side of your body. Maybe even bend your knees a little bit so that you can really press your hips away from your shoulders to lengthen and stretch out your lower back even more. Take a nice breath in and slowly straighten your legs. On your next inhale, left leg steps forward into a lunge. And then again, take your blocks under your shoulders on either side of your foot. Inhale, hips lift as the front knee straightens any amount. Exhale, back to lunge. Inhale, hips lift. Exhale, back to lunge, and the back knee comes almost down to the floor. Straighten your right leg first and lift the hips, and then the front knee straightens. And then continue this little flow. Noticing each movement, noticing the parts of your body that you feel stretching, and strengthening. One more inhale, lifting up. And as you exhale, the back knee comes almost to the floor, let it actually come down towards the floor. Take your blocks, put them on the highest setting and walk them back so that they're in line with your hips. Straight under your shoulders. Wiggle your front foot forward and your back foot back. Perhaps coming all the way down, maybe not. This is my tight side. I can't come down all the way on this side. So I use the strength of my arms to make sure that I'm not overstretching. So I push myself up a little bit and then see if with an exhale, the muscles can lengthen a little more, but no forcing or pushing anytime. Deep breaths here. Again, see if you can soften your face, maybe even lift the corners of your mouth. Always a great trick, even though you don't mean it, the brain doesn't know the difference. You literally trigger something that the brain thinks you're doing something really fun. It works. Trust me, they did research on it. Take 2 more deep breaths here. On your next inhale, press yourself up to slide the back foot back under your knee. Tuck the back toes, straighten that leg so that you're back into a lunge. And then step forward into a forward fold. Let your head hang. Your knees can be slightly bent. If you feel unbalanced, if your hands don't touch the floor, feel free to take blocks under your hands. Let the weight of your head give a gentle traction to your neck, the little vertebrae there. And then breathe, earth chi, up your feet, into your legs, into the lower belly. Exhale there, energizing the Hara 2 more times. Take 1 more breath here. As you exhale, slide your feet a little wider than your hips. As you exhale, bend your knees into a squat, malasana. If you have tender knees or any other groin sensitivity or hip sensitivity, sit on a block. If your heels are lifting, if that is not an issue balance-wise, then stay there. If not, you can always roll a blanket, put it under your heels. Press your upper arms into your knees and your knees into your upper arms. Allow your lower back to widen and be nice and soft as you let the tailbone be heavy, your chest is nice and proud. Take 1 more breath here. As you exhale, bring your hands behind you. Carefully sit down and then turn around on your mat so that you're facing the back, and then lie down on your back. Make sure you have your strap within reach. Bend your knees. Feet are in line with your sitting bones. Arms are resting by your sides. As you inhale, lift your hips off the floor into bridge. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling. Press your upper arm bones down, and from there let the chest lift. If it works for your shoulders, you could slide your hands together, interlacing your fingers. Notice if this bridge pose feels different than you may usually feel it, if you remember, after all the back muscle strengthening and loosening that we've done. Now walk your feet together. Inner thighs and ankles touch. Keep your hips lifted. As you inhale, extend your left leg up towards the ceiling. See if you can keep your hips at the same height. Feel free to let go of your hands if needed. As you exhale, let your hips lower almost to the floor. And as you inhale, press them back up. Exhale, lower your hips. Inhale, press back up. Your right leg is doing the work. Let the right inner thigh stay engaged so the knee doesn't sway out. Lowering and lifting, keeping the hips level as best as you can. Next time your hips lift, stay there. Keep your hips level. Press the big toe mound of your right foot down. And hug your inner thighs together even though your legs are doing something different. Extend your left toes up towards the ceiling. One more breath. Exhale, bend your knee, left foot on the floor. And then lower your hips all the way down. Extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. If you have long arms and flexible hamstrings, you could use your peace fingers and hug them around your big toe. If not, take a strap. With the right foot flexed and the strap under your foot, extend the leg up towards the ceiling. Keep your hips on the floor though, so you're stretching the leg that was just working. The right leg is up, the leg that was just working. You're just stretching out the hamstring now. If you're using a strap, you can keep the strap but don't pull on the strap to come up. So as you exhale, round your shoulders and your head off the floor, look towards your belly button, and then stay there. So your core is doing the work, not your arms with the strap. So you could let go of the strap, but just let it hang there. Extend your arms towards the back wall, towards the windows that are actually now in front of you. Keep your gaze towards your belly button. Arms reaching, shoulders and head are off the floor, curling up into as if you're making a C curve. Soften the top of your belly, just like we did in the beginning. Take one more breath. Exhale, lower your head and shoulders to the floor. Keep your leg up. You can reuse the strap, or maybe you don't need it. Bend your knee into half happy baby. You can extend the left leg out on the floor if that works for you. If you're not familiar with half happy baby, the knee comes towards the right armpit as the foot points up towards the ceiling. Foot and knee are in one line. You can hold the outside of your foot if your arm is long enough and your hip is flexible enough, otherwise use your strap. If your left knee is bent, then straighten your leg for now. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. You can use both hands to hug your hands around the shin. Let go of your strap. Keep your left hand on your right knee. Extend the right arm to the side at shoulder height, and then carefully guide your right knee over to the left into a spinal twist. Keep your right shoulder on the floor. So your knee may hover. Let your foot come down to the floor or to your left leg. Give your outer hip a nice stretch, but don't overstretch the lower back. So keep the right shoulder grounded and on the floor. Allow the right side of your sternum to lower towards the floor and the left side of your sternum to lift a little bit. And your belly is reaching towards the right. Take one more breath here and exhale, sigh it out. Carefully roll back to center. Place your right foot on the floor and then bend your left knee as well. Arms by your sides, both feet in line with your sitting bones. As you inhale, lift your hips into bridge. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling. Press your upper arm bones down and lift your chest. If you like, walk your hands closer, interlace your fingers. And then walk your feet close so that your ankles and your inner thighs touch and are in line with the center. Extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep your hips at the same height if possible. As you exhale, lower your hips almost to the floor, and as you inhale, let something reach your foot back to the ceiling. Lowering and lifting the hips. See if you can do it without momentum. Can you create a gradual lift? Use the strength of your right leg. Press the left leg, left big toe pressing down. Next time you lift the hips, pause there. So you can get the hips level. If you're trying to touch the ceiling with your right foot. One more breath. Bend your right knee, right foot on the floor. And then release your hands, lower your spine back to the floor. And extend your left leg up towards the ceiling. Again, you feel free to use your peace fingers around the big toe or use your strap, whatever works for the proportions of your body and the situation of your hamstring today. Allow your lower back to stay nice and grounded, nice and wide on the floor. Nice deep breaths. Finding and lengthening in the back of the leg. And take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, bend your knee, bringing the leg into half happy baby. Oh, I forgot something, didn't I? Oh, you hope you didn't. Extend the leg back up. Right knee is still bent. Let go of your strap. As you exhale, lift your head and shoulders off the floor, curling up. Extend your arms towards the windows in front of you. Let the top level, the outer layer of your belly be soft. And see if you can find an engagement deeper inside. As if you're trying to press your sternum back and your sacrum up. Take one more breath here. And exhale, lower your shoulders down and your head down. And now bend your left knee for half happy baby. Feel free to extend the right leg on the floor. You can use your strap or just your hand to hold the outside of your left foot. The knee is moving away from your chest. So the arm is on the inside of your knee. The knee is trying to reach for your left armpit or beyond. Take one more breath. As you exhale, draw your knee into your chest, more in the center, using both hands around the shin or the back of your thigh. Extend your right leg if it's not on the floor yet. Extend left arm out to the side at shoulder height. With your right hand carefully guide your left knee over towards the right, but keep your left shoulder on the floor, so don't overstretch the lower back. Your knee may hover, but perhaps place your left foot either on your right leg or on the floor. See if you can find that same balanced weight in your shoulder blades like you did all the way at the beginning when you were just lying on your back. Nice deep breaths. Belly is soft, but there is an energetic direction of the belly reaching towards the left. Take one more inhale and a sigh out as you exhale. And then carefully roll back to center. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Extend your legs up towards the ceiling. Flex your feet. And then widen your legs away from each other into a big V. If you're hitting your neighbor, then maybe you want to stagger a little bit or use them as a support. It's your choice if your neighbor is okay with that. Keep your lower back soft. Bring your hands on the inside of your thighs, just below the knees, so closer to the groin than the ankles. Give a little resistance with your hands as you bring your legs back up together, keeping the legs straight. Inhale, widen your legs apart in the big V. And as you exhale, use the resistance of your hands while you bring your legs back together. Do that a few more times. And as you do this, notice that besides engaging your inner thighs, there's actually something happening in your core, in the abdominal region. You can make it as challenging or as easy as you want, depending on how much resistance you give with your hands. Let's do 2 more. Those of you that were in Michelle's workshop this afternoon, remember how she said that the outer thigh muscles are usually tight and the inner thigh muscles are long but weak, so we're strengthening them this way. Open your legs back to that V. As you exhale, lift your head and shoulders off the floor, curling up. Look to your belly button and reach your arms towards the windows in front of you again. Can you find that same softness in your belly? The outer layer is soft. The grapefruit there is not rolling off because your abdominal muscles are popping up. See if you can find the outer layer soft, and the strength comes from deeply inside. Reach towards the windows. One more breath. Exhale, slowly roll your head and shoulders back down. Bend your knees and then hug your knees in towards your chest. It feels good to gently rock from side to side or circle your knees around to massage your lower back. Whatever feels good here. And as you come to stillness, place your feet on the floor and let your knees fall apart away from each other as the soles of your feet come together in butterfly pose. The heels can be at a comfortable distance away from the groin so they don't have to be very close. If this feels just right, stay here. Feel free to place blocks under your upper legs for a little support. Just giving those muscles that we've been working so hard a chance to relax and soften. If you'd like, you could place your hands on your belly and invite the belly to soften and gently move with your breath. And then circle again 3 times with your tongue clockwise and 3 times counterclockwise. This feels just right. Feel free to stay here or extend your legs into the traditional Savasana corpse pose. If you prefer to do a relaxation lying on your belly or your side or even seated, you're very welcome to do that. If you need anything under your knees for your lower back to be comfortable, let me know. I can help you get set up. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale, sigh out. See if you can keep some awareness. Notice how your body feels. You feel your heart beating. You feel the circulation of your blood. You feel a circulation of chi inside of you. deeply. Deepen your breath. Gently wiggle your toes and your fingers to bring some awareness back into your body. Maybe circle your ankles and your wrists a few times to bring circulation back into your limbs. And if it feels right for you to reach your arms overhead and give yourself a nice full body stretch, it's a nice option. And slowly bring your arms back by your sides, and as you bend your knees, roll to either side. And slowly go back up to sit. As you back in a seated position, close your eyes just for another moment. Feel free to gaze down to the floor if you prefer to have your eyes open. Just to take another moment to pause and notice the effects of your practice. Notice what is being stirred up, what has been let go. What is the quality of your mind? And where you feel overall. And slowly bring your hands together in front of your head and bow your head in reverence and gratitude to yourself. May our practice serve all living beings on the planet so that everyone can attain freedom and peace. Namaste, Jai Bhagwan.